to share what we've been doing. And also we're going to ask for some help. One of the things we have to do is, like, I would like, we've created a website, and we're working on creating the website that'll then be like a place where people can launch from the website into the training. So there'll be some static information on the website. And one of those static things will be a greeting from the Secretary of State. And I'm very excited that he's agreed to do this, and it will be filmed. So it'll be a nice interactive kind of exciting thing, telling them about why public libraries and trustees are so important. And I have to write a kind of a speech. And some of the things that I thought we should highlight is like the value of public libraries, and that they're true democracies, and that we serve everyone from cradle to grave, and we welcome everyone, and how important trustees are to that. And that, you know, when they take this responsibility on, they're also taking on the responsibility of representing the interests of all members of the community. And how libraries, Illinois is a great state for libraries, and all of the support and creative things they've done over the years. And we hope this will be another innovation that leads libraries in the state forward, and yada, yada, yada. Are there other things that you think we should add to that speech? I mean, you know, that's just the highlights. I'm sure there'll be more things. I mean, and this will be just like a 5-minute presentation. It won't be very long. Well, I know this is a lot to think about. What I will do is, when I have something together, as I say, I'm working on this, when it's in a more, you know, finished form, I will send it to all of you to look at and review and see if you have anything you think we should add. Okay, and then the next thing I'm going to ask is if, okay, you know, we're translating all of this into multiple languages as well. And basically what we're doing is we are having it translated by machine, and then we're having actual speakers of the language go over the text and make sure it's accurate and it flows well and all of those kind of things. And we're willing to pay $30 an hour for them to do this work. And we have people for Polish, Chinese, Tagalog, French, Spanish, and Arabic. And we're looking for translators who can do Russian, Korean, Gujarati, and Hindi. So if you have anybody, you can recommend anyone who can help us with those translations, please have them contact us. And so we can, you know, get that started. And also, we are going to ask you to look over the content we have so far. And again, give us your comments. We're going to ask for a very quick turnaround, because Phil Lenzini is going to look all over everything to make sure it follows the law. And so, and then we'll make sure everything reads again. We'll do another edit, and then we'll put it up. So it's like, it's a process, but we'll get this done. We'll have something up very soon. And I'm very excited. We have some excellent contributors for the content. And again, we are paying them. We have Christine Westerlund, we have Kathy Cadill, and we have Tom Stagg, all contributing so far. And we're probably going to be looking for more contributors on more topics as we go along. I will be writing a few things too. And of course, we'll be sending everything for you guys to look at before it goes up. So we can edit and shift and change things. So the other thing is, we're planning on having like a quarterly kind of newsletter on that first page too. And we thought we would take turns with, you know, IHLS will do one quarter, Rails will do another quarter. ILA Trustee Forum or ILA can do another quarter, and we're hoping maybe the state library can. And it's just kind of like a, you know, this is kind of the new and exciting things that are coming from our organization to you and things you need to be aware of. So, you know, it's kind of like, I feel like this is a joint effort, and we want trustees to be aware of current events. And so I think we're all interested in that, and we all send those things out to our members anyway. So I thought, why not have it here too, so the trustees are in it, and then they know that this is a partnership with all of the groups in the state and not just IHLS. So I think that is pretty much what I had. Oh yes, go ahead, Becky.
I have a question about the newsletter, because I'm on the trustee forum, so we have to do that. I know from planning these newsletter things with multiple people, it would be nice if we got at the start of the year, not just the schedule, but what are the 4 topics?
Yes, yes.
Okay,
kind of
so we don't
like
have to come up with a topic on our own, and so we know like the long view of the 4 topics we want covered over the course of the year. And then I know we can make it happen. I just want to make sure we think about it broadly.
Well, and some of it'll be current events too, things that have come up suddenly, you know, like the book banning stuff that's kind of came up out of the blue all of a sudden. And, you know, so it's kind of like, oh, these are things that are happening and you need to, you know, and here's some resources, you know, that kind of thing. It doesn't have to be very long or very in depth. And then it's just kind of like things that, you know, like Rails are offering, you know, their members, or, you know, things, and like what ILA is offering. ILA does everything for all trustees. So it's like, you know, all of those kind of things. I think it, you know, I will send you an example of, you know, what our contribution will be, or kind of like the type of thing, kind of like, again, I think it should always start with kind of a brief description of what your organization is and what it does, and then kind of goes from there. Or maybe we can have that somewhere in there, somewhere that it kind of explains the different organizations. We can have that as a caption above the columns, you know, and it doesn't have to be very long at all. Just kind of a brief update. Okay. Now I'm going to turn it over to Leanne, and she can show you some of the stuff that we have done.
Good morning. Share my screen. Well, I'm sure you don't want to look at my calendar. That's not what we want to show you today. So what we're doing, what I'd like to do today is give you a walkthrough from the student perspective of the portal so far. So when they first click to open the screen, they're going to come to the iLEAD trustee page. And apologies, as I'm seeing things here, I'm going to make notes myself. So our funding statement information changed the other day, so I do need to update that funding statement. I'll do that. But when they come in, they have the option, they can click their welcome. We have a link directly to resources and then to the learning modules. As Anna mentioned, the portal is going to open right up first with that video from the Secretary of State, welcoming them. And then from there, within that welcome module, we're also going to have that quarterly update from the library systems that we just talked about. There will be, there's a little like background info on the history of the public library with some links if they want to go out and learn more. And then there's like the different types of libraries and just some generic information to get them familiar with the different types of libraries there are. Again, this is basic information that we're sharing here. And then we have places where they can click down to see additional information. So in that in the welcome, there's also, the all libraries are not the same, so the different types of libraries. We also have a module unit for them about the Illinois required training. So these pages here are to help these individuals understand first what training they need to do. And second, we set up a page for each of the training types, telling them, the basic steps for how to get started with links that'll take them directly to those trainings. So right now we have, of course, the Open Meeting Act training, sexual harassment training, and then the FOIA, the Freedom of Information Act for the FOIA officers, or maybe if they just want to know that information themselves. If you think of other trainings, I know over the weekend I was thinking that I know there's a training that is required for ethics for state of Illinois employees, but I don't know if that's required for, not for trustees. Okay, great. So if we're missing something there, let me know. The next module we're calling Library Trustee 101. That section is going to cover how to become a trustee, why trustees matter, an overview of the trustee's role, and then the top 10 tips for success. So when they click on these, what they'll see is they'll see some background information, and then there'll be a link out, whether it's going to a PDF or Synthesia or an exterior link. We'll link everything related to those topics. We'll add those to these pages. Under general administration, this is how the board operates. So how to conduct a trustee meeting, the Open Meeting Act, the roles for the board, officers, special committees, and then resources that have been provided. One of the things that we're tossing in there is we're tossing in these trustee challenges. They're actually, if you're a Canvas user or another LMS user, this comes under like a quiz. It's not graded. There aren't points to it. It is set up to be optional, but it gives them an opportunity to go through and quiz themselves on that information. So this one happens to have questions. Oop. Back. This one happens to have questions about the Open Meeting Act, and so they're kind of like situational questions that require yes or no kind of responses. So we'll be adding a few of those in there. We have like for the roles, there's a drag and drop kind of quiz activity that they can do. And once they have completed a module, like if they have clicked and viewed all those pages within a module, they receive a badge for that module. So they have an opportunity to be earning badges and such. Let's see what else is in there. We have, and the last one for this year's financial budget, I guess, for the grant also includes policy making. So policy making will cover bylaws, board bylaws, the difference between policies and procedures, and policies for library governance. As I indicated, there's a resource page. Any resources we are using, any additional resources that are being recommended by our contributors, all of those will be available in one place by, we'll categorize it out so that it's easy for them to identify, but we'll make sure that they have a click or a link to a PDF or to an external link for those resources. So we do, while we have this outline, I'm not drilling down into these particular pages because, as Anna mentioned, the content is coming in from the contributors, and what we're doing is So the content comes in from the contributors. Anna's doing the first review of it. We're going to ask you to do the second review of it. We'll make whatever changes Anna provides me, whatever changes or comments that you may make. Then from there, it's going to go to the attorney to fill in Zini. And then when it comes back and we know it's been checked off through all that, we'll make the decision about the best way to bring it in. Do we do just a PowerPoint with it? Do we do an AI video with it? Is it just like a PDF that would be better? If it's something that is short and succinct, we can create a page for it just in its own. But to be honest, I can't get to that point until we have the content. And the thought was it would be better to get all that review done first before I put stuff in, and then we're going back and constantly having to edit and change it. On that note, I do have, I'll tell you how many here. We do already have 7 PDFs for you to review. Well, what I did is I took the PowerPoints that came in and exported them out as PDFs so that you would have an easy read with a single document and instead of trying to float around with PowerPoint slides and stuff. So we do have, like I said, 7 of these ready. So Anna's going to be asking for volunteers. And Anna, I'll leave this up, make it a little bigger so people can see what those topics are that they might want to choose from. Let me see how to get this bigger for you. Well, that may have been too big, but okay. So there's becoming a trustee, the bylaws content, code of ethics has been broken into 4 parts. The slide set by Christine Westerland covers everything about roles. Tell you what else she's got in here. She put all of her slides together, so there's a combination of stuff in there. But Christine's PowerPoint will include things like the trustee's role, what is expected from a trustee, how to conduct, nope, not yet. And then
Leanne, we can't hear you any longer.
Leanne? Okay, let me text her.
So we can't hear her and she probably can't hear us.
I know, that's the fun part.
I bet her headphones came unplugged or something.
Yeah, it's like, I know she's had trouble. Let me just, I can't seem to escape the full screen to get to the. Okay. Okay, let me. Leanne's going to be so happy when I tell her we couldn't hear any of that.
Looks like she just saw it in the chat.
Hey, Anna,
Yes.
can I ask a question, or do you want me to save it for when Leanne can talk again?
No, that's
Yeah.
fine. What would you like to ask?
Just while we troubleshoot. So I know we're going to be getting sort of the assignment, if you will, to sort of review the content, right? What would you say about the kind of feedback you're looking for related to the content? I mean, is it, we're looking at what Christina and Kathy Caudle and others have sort of put together. We review it, and then if we see things that are not included, is that the kind of feedback you want, that they would go back and edit based on, I would, like, in my mind, I was thinking that we would sort of give feedback first of kind of what we think should be included, and then they would work towards that. But this is more, they took their first pass on this topic, and then this committee is going to give feedback on what we feel is missing or mischaracterized or whatever.
Yes,
that-
yes. That's
Okay.
that's the way to do it. I find it usually easier to work from something, you know, than coming up with something. And it's like part of the reason we approached these presenters is I know that they have done presentations that were well received on these topics in the past. So that's kind of my thinking. And then I thought it would save everyone if we like look at what's there and then decide if there's something that was missed, or as you said, misrepresented, or wasn't clear in its intent. So
Anna, can you hear me now?
yes, yes, we can hear you now.
Hey, where did you lose me at?
Just as you were starting to go to, you just heard the last, I'd say, minute or two of covering the
All you
topic.
did was show us the screen and you started to explain, and then it went out.
Yeah,
Oh, no.
Start with
Okay.
explaining what's in each of the programs. Yeah.
All right. Anna, you want me to go back into the,
yes.
okay, let me. Okay. I'm gonna try to share again and hope I don't lose my audio.
Does anyone else have any questions while we're quickly before Leanne comes back? Okay.
I
Go
have
on,
one quick
Becky.
question. Eventually, are we going to also be targeting, because I think we talked about this in the first meeting, people who might want to be a trustee and are
Yes.
interested?
Yes.
Okay. So if we do that, just so you know, Heather Booth and I have done multiple programs trying to encourage people to run for trustees.
Oh, excellent.
And Joe and I have done some stuff about what the trustee role is that's kind of more simple. So if I'm not going to volunteer Joe, but I will volunteer Heather. But we can do those things as well, sort of like the how do you, and we can make it more
Perfect.
specific. How do you actually run? And Heather's
Yes.
also a library worker and a trustee. So she's at West Mom.
Perfect.
Okay. So
Okay.
just for the future, I know we have to get this stuff done first, but ultimately,
Oh, no, I think that was, we may be recruiting you very shortly.
Actually, so in the library trustee 101, there is a module on how to become a trustee, but also we thought that information we would include on the website, because, you know, if they're not a trustee yet, they may not want to go and jump into the trustee training. So that would be an ideal like topic to put in both
Post there,
places.
yes,
Yeah.
absolutely.
we make it sound super fun.
Oh,
Good.
great.
But you know, a lot of people do. I mean, in my past experience working at a public desk, I have had people come in and say, well, what does a trustee do? And, you know, you kind of explain it and they get this glazed out look in their eye. And then you tell them they have to fill out forms and, you know, get signatures and all that stuff. And then they really kind of start edging towards the door. So I think, yeah, if you can do that, that would be perfect because it's.
And then one more thing, I'm at LaGrange and we just completely Joyce Hagan-McIntosh, who is one of our board members, who's also on the Freedom to Read Foundation. She
Oh, good.
completely revamped our trustee training because we did get 2 brand new trustees this year. And we did it over the course of a few months altogether, but I'm going to give her all the credit because she did 90% of the work. So we have a really great document. And if you would like, I could get her in contact with you to share it, because I think it covers a lot. She worked really hard on it. So
Oh, that would be excellent. Yeah, no,
all right. I'll send an email to connect her with you then. To
Yeah.
Anna and Leanne. Okay.
Perfect.
Yeah,
Yeah, I love getting trustees to, share. Yes, I like things written by trustees, and that way other trustees can't be as snarky. Well, you're not a trustee.
Yeah, I have it. It's right here. It's like long.
That's
do.
all
It's
right.
yeah.
That's wonderful. I'm sure
And
we
it has
can.
a sheet to sign, like you actually read it, just like a personnel policy manual.
That is
Very cool.
excellent.
So, okay, cool.
Accountability. Oh,
Also, for everyone else, if you know of, sites or any kind of materials that we could add to the resources page, please go ahead and forward those to us at any time, and we'll make sure they get added, so that we give them a place to go and look at stuff. All right, so I'm so sorry, but now everybody can hear me, right?
yes.
Okay, so taking it from the top, once they log into the course, there's several modules that we've done. The first module is just the housekeeping, right? This is all about an overview of the course. We have little bios about the different authors. We're going to tell them how to navigate, how to find support. Every time you complete a module, you'll receive a badge. If you complete all the learning modules, you'll receive a certificate of completion. We'll also have a course FAQ up for them, and then the resources that are directly for, they call them students in our case, our trustees or learners, resources for Canvas in case they need help within Canvas. My plan is to build a short video to include on that website that'll include the tips for how to get to this page, right? How to create an L2 account if they don't already have one, and then how to use that L2 account and how to access the learning portal from there. Okay, everybody's still hearing me? Okay. The next module in here is on the Illinois required training. So this is just like a one-place stop for them to find out the different trainings that are required for them as a trustee. If it's required annually, we give them the information. I also give them the links to actually find the training, and then the steps to get started in that training. So we currently have those for the Illinois Open Meeting Act, the sexual harassment, and the FOIA for FOIA officers. Library Trustee 101 is really the first of the learning modules. They're how to become a trustee, as we just talked about. There's information that'll be added to that. Why trustees matter, an overview of the trustee role, and then 10 tips for success in being a trustee. Also coming here late summer will be the general administration portal. This is more related to how the board operates. So how to conduct a trustee meeting, the Open Meeting Act, the roles, officers, special committees. I don't know if you guys heard me talk about these challenges. I didn't want to call them quizzes because they're not really a quiz or a test. It's a challenge I went with challenge because it's challenge yourself to go see if you learned what you needed to learn kind of thing. So we'll have a variety of different types of challenges for them. It might be, in this case, I built like a yes, no on the Open Meeting Act, and it's situations, different situations that can arise. And does it meet the need for the Meeting Act, or does it not meet the need for a Meeting Act kind of thing? And then the last module that is coming for this fiscal year is policy making, which will cover bylaws, the difference between policies and procedures, and policies for library governance. We will continue to build and add on to this resource every time we find a new resource. So even like later on, after we get through this first one and we're in the middle of the second one, if you come across a resource you really like that you think would be helpful to trustees, please always forward it to us and we'll add that link in. Where we are at right now, as Anna mentioned, is I think all our contributors took their long weekend over Memorial Day to kind of wrap up what they were working on, because all of a sudden June 1st, we were inundated with this. But the process that we're going through is that the content's coming into me. I'm turning around and assigning that content first review to Anna. As Anna's going through it, because we have so much, what we're going to do is, as she's wrapping up, I've converted those PowerPoints to PDFs so that we can provide you with the PDFs so that you can go through and look at those PDFs and, make comments in the PDF, or if comment box, an email back to us, whatever, whatever works best for you that you can work with. Then we'll go through your feedback, make any necessary changes that we need to make based on what we hear from you, and then that'll go to legal review. Once it comes back from legal review, Anna and I will sit down and decide what is the best way to put this information out there. Would this be appropriate for an AI video? Should we just leave this as a PowerPoint? Is there information that we need to put into, have it as a PDF? If it's short and brief, we can just make it a page in the Canvas module itself. So, but the thought was we wanted to get the content review and kind of finalized before we put it in place. Once it's in place, then we'll have a copy edit go through to do all the copy edit. So we're finally at that point now where we've got a whole lot to go on. And busy to get in there. So I know I showed you guys those topics that are available, but now that you can hear me, let me get back to those. First of all, any questions about the Canvas course modules? Yep, Becky, shake it.
Okay, Monica?
Thank you. Just curious, because on our recent group of meet and greets we've been doing throughout the state, we've had a lot of people express concern on their trustees either dropping out or not being interested, or just misunderstanding the changes to the statement of economic interest that were made over the last year.
Oh God, yeah.
Anything planned just in the general administration section on that and helping people to navigate that?
That's a good idea. I had not thought of that. I know.
So that would, I know next year what is when we add the finance model. Would it go there, or do you want to put it?
No,
or do you think
it
that's
has to
okay?
be, because they have to do it once they become a trustee, and they do it every year.
Oh, okay. So that probably, okay. So statement on
Yes, economic interest.
economic interest. Got it.
And there were
Yeah.
specifically some changes that were made recently that required some legal guidance on how people should fill that out. So anything that might actually want to be something directly from an attorney rather than a trustee contributor, just to be able to share how they should move that forward.
Yeah, that's a good idea, especially since, yes, I know people balk at giving that much personal information, or what they feel like they have to give personal information, and in a lot of cases, really not so much, or not as much as they think they do. So
Exactly. I think just that specific guidance about what they actually have to put in those sections would be really helpful for people.
yeah, that's great. Thank you. And I know that some people actually stepped off boards because they didn't want to fill it out, which is so sad.
Yeah, we heard that from a lot of libraries recently, that they had that experience.
Yeah, and I know, Joe, to your point, where you were thinking that the committee would have more of a voice in, like, what they thought various topics should include. As we go forward, we can definitely have it where before we start having somebody write something, with this meeting could, we could have a meeting with the committee to talk about what we think should be included for various topics. So, it's just at this point, as I said, we had a late start in this grant. And I take full blame for that. Most of it was due to health issues that I had. And then, so, we're trying to make up ground. So we're doing things as quickly as we can to get something up. So, but in the future, yes, I would love more input. We're hoping to cover a lot of ground, and we're hoping to eventually add more modules. I think having someone talk about, freedom of information, or not freedom of information, freedom to read and intellectual freedom type things from a trustee perspective would be excellent. I would love to add that as a module. I think that challenges quite a few people. And I think also, I think that I have heard that a lot of people feel that when things are challenged, librarians tend to come from like on high and try to educate people as to why they should not feel the way they feel. And it's kind of like how to listen respectfully to people who have, all kinds of viewpoints, and, reach common ground. It's a tough one. It's like, no, we are not going to ban books, and we're not going to have books that are like racist or offensive in any way. As well, we do have books that are offensive to some people because that's what libraries do, that we're a democracy. We have everything, and there's something to cause everyone a problem. They look close enough at what's there. But yeah, it's kind of like respecting that, the things that are there and what needs to be there to represent all of the viewpoints in the community and all of that kind of stuff. So it's a tricky road. And I think especially when trustees are out in public and they get questioned about some of these things, how do you address that? And as a board, you should speak with one voice. I mean, I'm sure people want to give their opinion, like, well, I agree with you, but the rest of the board doesn't. I've had it where people have wanted to go back and see how individual board members have voted on book challenges and all of those kind of things. And this was before, they wanted to go back like 2 or 3 years. And there haven't really been that many book challenges for most libraries. So anyway, I will stop rambling on. But yeah, I think that it would be great to have more ideas from you guys and more input. And as we go ahead and look at topics, what we can add. I look at this as kind of something that is a living document, a living portal thing, because we will add content, I see, as we go along. Yes, Monica.
Thank you. I just wanted to agree with you, Anna, and say that I think this will be especially important with HB 2789 just having passed and awaiting the governor's.
Oh God, yes.
And I think because of the administrative roles and as those are coming out to help libraries and trustees in particular understand the types of policies that they might have to have, that should probably be a first priority for this group.
Okay, that sounds great. I appreciate that.
Anna,
Laura? Oh, yes.
Yeah, I just wanted to say that going back to the statement of economic interest, Rock Island County and maybe some other counties as well do a brief explanatory letter that they send with the SEI that gives common definitions and ways that you should answer it, and it's super helpful. So I don't know if that's something that you might want to look into to sort of lessen the burden of coming up with something all on your own.
Yeah, if you have a copy of that document, that would be so helpful if you could send that to us.
I can get that to you.
I know Madison County, I think the first year there were changes, they sent something, but they haven't since. So it's like, it varies so much from county to county. And, with this whole decennial committee stuff, it's like, I've learned more about counties than I ever wanted to know. And it's like, yeah, they have a lot of autonomy. That's all I can say. And I can't figure out who oversees them. They don't seem to have much oversight in the way of you know, who in the state government oversees the county? I haven't quite figured that one out. So,
Anna, one of the things that I can do is go ahead and take the spreadsheet that we have with all the current topics by module and send that out to the committee so they can review it and provide us with some feedback of things to add in. What
Right.
I mean, kind of what we're envisioning is we're already starting to identify the people to write the last remaining modules that we'll add. And so the plan is for those to be done and ready for learners by the time we get to December. That leaves us still half a fiscal year, right? So that was our thought when we would be able to go back and put the stuff in. Now it may be like the HB 2789 stuff, we can, you know, get some information on that and get that added in here earlier. And same thing with the statement on the economic interest. So if there's, you know, topics that are like you'd like to have, and then topics like we need to make sure this is there, I'll give you two different boxes to check off for us.
yeah, and we might also, you know, it's like, I know placing these things, some of these things I think might need to go on the website so people can quickly access them as opposed to going into the modules to access them.
Right.
So yeah,
Yep.
we might
Yeah.
seek feedback on that too. So
I'll put priority boxes and also include, you know, do a double and include on a website. So I'll give you some boxes to check mark on that list as well.
yeah.
Okay, in terms of what we have right now, did everybody hear me when I went through the reviews, how we're progressing through and reviewing? Maybe. Okay, so the content comes to me, I send it to Anna. What we did is we had the consultants put it in PowerPoints, just so that we would already have the slides set up in their script to a slide. Doesn't necessarily mean that's how it's going to set up. Some of these will become AI videos, some will just live as regular PowerPoints. But what I did is I exported all the PowerPoints that we've gotten so far out to PDFs so that we could dish it out to you guys in chunks for review.
Yeah, and some of the PowerPoint slides will, you know, because it's like some of them are like so content heavy, your eyes cross. So what we will do is we will also break those down as well. So, you know, don't be alarmed. It's like you might look at some of the stuff and go, oh, that's too much. So yes, we know that, you know, people need white space and they, you know, and they need.
Yeah, we'll fix the visualization of all these, and you'll know as you're looking at it what we're talking about on some of these. I won't call out any one contributor, but you'll get the idea.
It's a lot. It's a lot.
We have 7 of those PDFs ready to go to look at for review. We're asking for a week turnaround so we can get your comments or changes reviewed by us and worked in, and then get this off to Phil. Once Phil reviews it from the legal perspective, it'll come back to us, and then Anna and I'll sit down and look at what would be the best way to present that information in the portal, whether it's a PowerPoint or an AI video or links or something else, an actual page within the module. We'll just take a look and see how much is there. So choices are, there is an IH LMS, this PDF slide. That particular slide set includes topics like, these are the topics in there: the trustee's role, what is expected from a trustee, and then an expansion of roles. So it was like, one's an overview of here's what the roles are, you know, like identifying the roles and then getting into the drilling down into more information about the roles.
Yeah. The
We
library
have-
director, library board roles specifically are covered, but also I think she has officers too, right? Think,
Yeah, I
okay,
know she's got a lot of stuff in there, so um there's a PowerPoint set on becoming a trustee, on the bylaws, and then ethics, they broke down into 4 parts. So that's one is like, I can tell you exactly what those are, in case you have a particular interest in a certain type of ethic. All right.
yeah, I think Kathy did a really good job, but yeah.
So she did, come on. There's the American Library Association's ethics statement is in here and broken down. There is the best way for me to get back to my list. The second one is looking at the American Library Association's Code of Ethics. The third one is looking at and 3. Your ethical responsibilities. And then she added a 4th one. And that 4th one is
I think she did the Gift Act, yeah,
the Illinois Model of Ethics Ordinance.
yes.
Yes. So, so I don't know, Anna, if you want to have people like put in the chat or just raise their hand if there's a particular topic that they're willing to review for us.
I know that Becky has put some things in the chat.
Okay,
Um,
great. Get back
It
to
doesn't
the-
matter to me. People can raise their hand or they can put it in the chat, whatever you prefer.
When you say a week, do you mean by like next Monday, or are we talking like next Tuesday? Like what exact date?
If we had it between the 12th and the 13th, that would be great. Because
Okay.
because
it's fine. I just wanna know a day.
yeah, this is, we need to meet a couple of things by June 30th, and we've got to have stuff back from Phil from June 30th. So
I picked 2 because I know I'm super busy in that time frame, but I can do at least one of them, but possibly both of those. So
okay.
Okay, yeah, we could probably give you till the 15th.
So Becky,
that doesn't
all right.
help. The 13th is better. I'm leaving for
Okay.
a conference on the 13th.
Okay,
That's why I was like, that's why I needed to know the date. Yes, I can do 1 or 2, but by the 13th.
All right. So I can be assigned to whatever. Thank you. All right. It looks like any of you guys are willing to do any assignment, and Becky gave us a couple, and Kristen's willing to be one of the people who looks at the ethics. So when we wrap up this meeting, I will get with Anna and we'll break these up and get them out to you guys. Thank you so much. All right, Anna, that's everything that I had. Sorry, a quick note. Thank you to everybody who took a look at the PowerPoint designs and voted and left us your feedback and your comments. We're actually going to pick a couple of them so that we have a variety of slides and looks as we're building these out.
yeah, I just also wanted to fill you in that we have program proposals on this project that we've submitted to the Association of Rural and Small Libraries and ILA. We've been accepted for ILA, and we're going to speak at the trustee day, which is very exciting. I'm so happy. We're hoping to get some nice swag to give away to all the trustees. You know, we're thinking, we really want a nice bag, so people can, possibly use this even to put their stuff for their meetings in during the rest of the time too. So a nice little reminder that you have this resource and you have this handy bag to carry your stuff to the meetings in. So, and we're also probably going to, put in a proposal for PLA as well. So we'll see when those come open and what we're going to do. I have my proposal for Arcel is to work with the North Dakota State Library and the Central Kansas Library System to talk about trustee resources, because I love the resource pages they have there, and we can say, well, this is what we do and how we can all share all these resources that other people have, and have great resources for trustees, and let them see this exciting new thing that we're doing, and they'll all be envious. So yeah.
One of the things on ILA is we are planning for ILA to be the beginning of our soft launch of the portal. So the idea is for those trustees who are attending our presentation at ILA, we will actually walk them through registering and getting them access so that they're able to then start using that portal, so that we can start getting feedback from them and we can start getting people in using it as well.
Well, and we would also like to come to or somehow attend a Rails board meeting to give them a presentation about this as well, and also trustee forum too, and kind of let those people have a preview as well. So, and I think that's about it for us for our agenda right now. As I say, it's content, and we're looking at, buying all this swag and getting the page launched. And yes, as I say, it's like a lot of stuff because we've got a late start. We're doing it all at the end here. So it's kind of like fasten your seatbelts. Here we go. So I appreciate all of the stuff that you guys do. Oh, I see. Okay. Yeah, we could probably do that, Becky. That's great. Yeah, so I appreciate everything that everyone is doing to help make this a success. And as we go forward, we're learning as we go along too. So this is a fluid process. So if you have suggestions on how to improve it or extra content to add, I appreciate Joe's comments. I appreciate Monica's excellent suggestions. Laura, I understand what you were saying too. So this is all, really good. I'm very excited. So I think that ends our time, and I will let you all go and enjoy the rest of your day and the rest of your week. It's going to be a long one after having a short one last week. So, okay. Well, thank you. Did you want to add something, Leanne?
Nope. I was just going to say I'll get the link for this meeting recording out. Some notes that I've taken about some information, and most importantly, those PDFs for you to review and get back to us.
Okay.
Thank you.
Any last questions? Going once? Yes, Becky. No, you're just waving goodbye. Okay.
I'm just waving goodbye.
Okay, we're done then. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.